Hello everyone. Welcome to this R tutorial video where we are going to walk through some of the basics of using the sample command as well as building for loops and using the apply function. So these commands come in useful in a variety of situations. For example, you might want to tell R to do some task repeatedly and like running through every row in your dataset and performing some calculation. Alternatively, you might want to run a population or run some sort of iterated experiment in order to estimate a statistic, for example, the sample mean. So let's start by looking at the sample command. First, we will just define a vector, call it states, which has 3 character elements in it with the names of states in the US. So I created my vector. I see it appears in the environment. And I can just quickly take a look. Oh, okay. So now we use the sample command to simulate a sample. So inside the sample command, we will define x to be the vector states that we just created. Size equals 10. So that means that we want a sample of size 10 and we will set replace to be true. This means that after each element is drawn in the sample, the element goes back into the vector and can be chosen again as the next element in the sample. So let's run this code and see what this looks like. So I see that I get an output of a vector of length 10 where each element in my vector of states has an equal probability of being drawn every time. So I got Washington, Washington, Washington as first 3, then California, Washington, again California, Massachusetts. So if we try to set replace equals false, then we would have to reduce the size of our sample to be smaller than the length of the vector that we are drawing from. So if we run this code with replace equals false, we get Massachusetts, Washington. I can run it again. Massachusetts, California. I will run it at a third time. California, Washington. So note that I will never get the same state twice if I define replace to be false, because once it's been chosen, it's now essentially removed from the vector that I'm sampling from. So if I were to set the size to a number that's larger than the set of elements I'm sampling from, R would just give me an error message. And so you can try that out if you would like. So the sample command allows us to draw from some finite set of elements with an equal probability of drawing each element, but not, for example, the normal distribution. So in this case, we could use the rnorm command. R just stands for random and norm for the normal distribution. And here we will just define n to be 100. So that means I want a random sample from the normal distribution of size 100. So